Hey there, welcome to Fluency Goals. I'm Mandeep, and today we are going to have conversation with Teacher Shiv, who runs his own YouTube channel. I have provided the link to his channel in description. Please go and check it out. Let's hear it from Teacher Shiv himself, what he has to say. So please introduce yourself.
My name is Shiv, and I born and raised in India, and my native place is Uttarakhand. By profession, I'm a central government employee. As far as my academic qualification concerned, I'm done with my Master in English and Master in Commerce, and this year I'm pursuing my Master in Economics. Moreover, I do teach English to beginners and intermediate speakers through different online applications as an unofficial English trainer, and I run my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teacher Shiv, where I'm uploading spoken English content at the same time some conversational videos as we are having right now. So that's all from my side in brief.
Wow, that's quite impressive. You're already equipped with two master's degrees, and now you're going to get another one. And I have also noticed that you introduce yourself as an unofficial English teacher. Why do you say that?
Because I'm not a certified English trainer, as I haven't done any course like teaching and all, and I haven't involved myself into teaching and all in a very official way. I've been speaking English for the last 3.5 years, and I've been guiding, assisting, directing to so many aspirants who are really inquisitive and enthusiastic in order to shape their spoken English to the proficient level. So, as an unofficial English trainer, I'm teaching to all of them unofficially on different online platforms. Sometimes I do teach on different groups where I'm the admin, and I have my own WhatsApp group where I'm taking some online free sessions. So that's why I consider myself as a unofficial English trainer, not official.
All right. All right. So, you said you are not trained in English language, and I assume that you have learned English language as a second language, right? So, my question to you is that what are the challenges that you faced as a learner who learned English as a second language?
Well, I would say I completed my education in Hindi medium school, and there was no subject like English in my school days. So I struggled a lot in my initial days because I couldn't understand English. But yes, as I was quite passionate and fascinated with this language, so I did a lot of hard work in order to improve my spoken English. Though I started from scratches and from ground level, but still I put my all effort in order to master this language anyhow. And based on that perseverance and diligent nature, I guess I could get the chance to talk with people who are really good in English, and that's how I have improved a lot. So challenges were same, like no English speaking environment because there was no one with whom I can speak in English in my surrounding. Secondly, as I started from zero, so I faced so many problems in terms of hesitation, shyness, and making a lot of grammar mistakes because I wasn't aware of those grammar rules. And third thing, people used to criticize me and humiliate me for my way of speaking as I'm speaking right now because they kept saying to me the same thing that being an Indian, you have to speak like an Indian and you don't need to speak like a native speaker of English as you are not. So why don't you take your own Indian accent in order to speak English? So there were so many challenges, and but yes, as you know very well, the person who is stubborn and obstinate in nature, in order to learn something, no one can stop him. So I'm one of them.
Wow, I must say you have come a long way from a learner to a teacher. And you also mentioned that you had problems, you faced hesitation, then there is accent that you have acquired, and then you didn't have exposure to the language. So, based on that, my first question to you is if you can share with me that how do you balance that maintaining of, your accent while bringing in the clarity in your speech. How does one do that?
Well, when it comes to accent, first of all, I don't believe on accent. I do believe on correct pronunciation. And that's how I'm focusing on my way of speaking. What does it mean? Like, I don't know how did you learn this language, but in my case, I started learning this language with the help of one application, and there I've talked with many native speakers around the world. In my initial days, I couldn't understand them just because of their different accent. But
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I started watching videos on YouTube of native speakers, then I got to know about their accent and the way they were speaking English. And I was quite excited to talk with them a lot more and more. As long as I started talking with them more, I got an influence of their accent on my spoken English. As you know very well, environment plays a very imperative and indispensable role in one's behavior and personality. The second thing is that last year I decided to work upon my pronunciation because my pronunciation was so weird and eccentric that I decided to work upon my way of speaking, my articulation, my intonation. I started learning IPA sounds, International Phonetic Alphabet, and just because of these IPA sounds and that English speaking environment with native speakers, my way of speaking becomes a little bit different the way normal Indian speakers speak English. But making a balance between having a different accent and the clarity you have in your spoken English is not a piece of cake for everyone. You need to understand that with whom you are talking and at what extent you have to use your accent. In my case, if you talk to me, if you come to my home and you'll talk to me in English, I will be speaking the same way as I'm speaking right now. So for me, I'm being accustomed and habituated to speak like this, so I don't have any problem to just cover the gap between the accent and the clarity in your voice. That's all from my side.
All right, all right. As you're aware, most of our viewers here, they haven't had the exposure to the native accent as you have had, and many of them are even struggling to get that fluency in the language in order to articulate their thoughts well. So, what would you advise to them? Do they need to work on their accent, neutralize it, or they need to acquire an artificial accent, say British, American? What is important?
Well, I would say there are two things. First one is accent, second one is pronunciation. Out of these two things, I just want to draw your attention to a third thing that is called your basic spoken English. I want everyone to work upon your basic spoken English. What does it mean? It simply means when you speak English, you are not making any mistakes, you are not fumbling, you are not stucking. The way you are speaking, you are making sense, and people who are listening to you, they are enjoying your speaking. In fact, you yourself is enjoying your speaking. When you speak English, you are that much fluent as you have that flow, like flow of water. You speak English like as you speak in your own native language in a natural and organic manner where you are pretty much comfortable, not putting any effort, not suppressing in your brain in order to think about vocabularies and grammar. The moment you reach in this level, then these two things which I have explained earlier, pronunciation and accent, comes into picture. I say try to neutralize your accent if you have any MTI issue. as you know very well, that those people who are from southern part of India, the way they speak English is entirely different from the way people who are from northern part or eastern part of India speak English. So they have a bit entry in their spoken English. Like by talking to them, you can easily identify that at which part of India they belongs to. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You need to neutralize this MTI, only this MTI. Talking about pronunciation, so I said improvise your pronunciation, which means I want you to pronounce every single word with the help of syllabic rule, the way it has to pronounced, so that it would be understandable to anyone, no matter from which part of globe he or she belongs to, right? And accent is something I would say a cherry on the cake, which means you have improved your basic spoken English, you have worked upon your pronunciation. Now, after these two things, you can jump into accent because accent is something that is called fancy thing, your style. You're adding some classy aspect in your spoken English, which is not needed, but for the sake of your own professionalism, and sometimes you have to deal with some native speakers, you can go for it. But again, pronunciation is must. So that's all I would say.
Okay, that was quite elaborate. And you mentioned that when you speak, it should be like the flow of water and your thoughts should flow like water, right? But many of the speakers here, they struggle with finding the words as they speak. So they get, the thoughts, they get just stuck in their head. They don't come the way they mean it to come. And many of the times they're just looking for the right words. So there comes the vocabulary challenge, and fluency also is hampered. So what is your advice to the learners? How can they avoid this problem? How can they overcome it?
Well, one comes to come up with some intellectual and organized thoughts, it is certainly a very big challenge in front of beginners at the same time for intermediate speakers as well. I'll say that I would make them understand this way that try to enhance your vocabularies to that level where they can express their ideas and their thoughts, feelings, and emotion in such a way that people can make some sense. At the same time, they have to indulge themselves into learning at least one or two vocabularies every single day so that they can incorporate these vocabs the moment they require these vocabularies in their spoken part. Now, third thing, it's not only about vocabularies. When someone's mind goes blank when he speaks English, there are plenty of reason behind it, not only vocabulary. Maybe he is not aware of grammar rules and he is getting confused from where I should start my sentence. Maybe he doesn't have the information about the topic in which he has to speak about. There may be a possibility like he is an introvert person. He doesn't feel to speak out in front of folks or crowd. And most of the time, I feel that people have a fear of being judged by others. So reason could be anything, but anyhow, he has to overcome with these problems. And the best solution for all these problems is practice. There is no shortcut, no magic, no tablet that can replace practice. So do practice every single day on a regular basis.
All right. Okay, and one very important question here that everybody asks regarding learning English language, especially when it comes to speaking. How important is to learn English grammar for mastering English speaking?
Well, since I started learning this language till now, grammar has become a subject of controversy and quite diplomatic for me. Let me answer this question this way. I would say yes, and at the same time, no. What does that mean? When it comes to grammar, it is important, but sometimes it's not. So, what are the factors on which it depends that grammar is important or not? Number one, you need to ask yourself that why are you learning English? What is the reason you have behind learning this language? And accordingly, you have to learn it. Then you need to understand how much grammar is required in order to accomplish your aim, your goal behind learning this language. Number two, if you are more into speaking, not into writing, then I would say you should not focus on grammar that much. Rather, you should focus on your spoken part, the way you express your ideas. In my case, I haven't learned grammar in my entire life, but I don't know what I feel about myself that I'm pretty much comfortable in order to express my ideas as I want from my side. So, third thing, if you are a beginner or intermediate speaker of English, rather focusing on your grammar in initial stage, just go for flow, fluency, and confidence, which means you have to focus on that level of confidence where you can speak English without any hesitation and without any shyness in a confident way. No matter whether you are making mistakes or not, are you making sense or not, forget about it. But once you reach on that level, then after you can go for grammar. But don't create a type of grammar in initial stage. Now, last but not least, of course, grammar is the soul of English, as a backbone of English. Without grammar, you can't even move a single step ahead. But it depends if you want to become an English teacher, you want to become an English trainer, and where grammar is required. For example, in written English, like you want to become an author, a writer, that's right, indulge yourself into learning grammar. But if not, then you can simply understand the basic patterns of grammar, the colloquial combination, the phrasals, and on the basis of these advanced pattern of grammar, you can manage your English. You should not wait for the day when you will be master in grammar and then you start learning language or then you start speaking English. That is all from my side.
Well, I guess you have hit the nail on the head with that one. And I must say that, functional grammar there works. It is important to understand grammar as you acquire it through the immersion in the language, right? So, like you go about learning your native language by more of listening, acquiring it from the environment, absorbing it from the environment around you. So there you get the functional acquired grammar that is important for speaking. Rest you can all learn. We all are learners, and you can keep on learning, mastering it as you go about it. Well, that is, I guess, all here. Anything you want to add on here? You want to say, you want to address our viewers on anything special?
Well, I would say that whosoever is trying to master this language or is trying to learn this language, I'll say only 5 steps that you have to keep in accounting before embarking yourself into this journey. Number one, I want everyone to find the reason of why. Why do you want to learn this language? Because if you have a very powerful and strong reason, you can master it. Because that powerful reason will gonna motivate you, guide you, direct you, assist you, that you are not going to waste your time in any useless stuff. Rather, you'd be more focused towards your journey of learning this language. Number two, never wait for perfection. No one is perfect in this whole world. We all make mistakes. We are humans, and humans are more than allowed to make mistakes. So don't think about people whether they are going to judge you and they are going to make fun of you, they are going to criticize you. Forget about these aspects. Rather, just be focused on your journey. Number three, try to create an English speaking environment around you. The more you immerse yourself with this language, the more you'll get the exposure of it. And now, fourth thing is, I want you to follow the 3 rules of P. Now, what is these 3 P's? Number one, practice. There is no substitution for practice. Number two, patience. You have to keep patience because learning a language is not a game of one night. You have to wait for it. You have to enjoy the process of learning. Number three, perseverance, which means your hard work. If you are enthusiastic, passionate, determined, and dedicated about learning this language, I'm telling you honestly, there's no such power in this whole world who can stop you in order to be fluent in this language. And last but not least, don't forget to practice with these 4 or 5 modules. LRWST: listening, reading, writing, speaking, and T. These are very crucial part of this language. And try to listen English podcasts, talk to native speakers, watch videos on YouTube, and when it comes to reading, at least one page in one day so that you can improve your pronunciation. If you read aloud, you can train your vocal cords. The more you'll vocalize, the better you get pronunciation. Writing will ensure your accuracy when it comes to grammar and speaking English. And last, speaking, which we are doing right now, because speaking could be learned by speaking only, there is no other alternative. More or less, think in English power will transform your English to the beginner level to intermediate and intermediate to advanced, because the more you think in English, the better you can consume, and that's how you can produce English as well. So English is just a language, not rocket science. Avoid procrastination, do your homework, believe on yourself, and that's how you can master this language. That's all I want to say.
Well, I would like to conclude it with a saying that whenever you feel like quitting, just remember why you started. So that gives you the best motivation why you started learning this language. So, friends, this was Teacher Shiv. So he gave us some really valuable lessons. Sir, thank you for the lessons provided by you. I hope our viewers get some good insight into learning language and they learn it better and the journey is improved. The journey of learning the language. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Now, thank you, ma'am, for giving your precious time and connecting with me. It was really nice, wonderful, fruitful, phenomenal, and remarkable, moreover, constructive conversation session with you. I've enjoyed a lot. Hopefully, you as well. And some other day, we are going to talk about some other aspect of this language. Till the
Sure,
time,
sure.
stay around and keep shining and keep enlightening with your vast knowledge and experience to your viewers, including me. So, bye bye. Take
Thank
care.
you so much. Goodbye.